born fat. I was 10.5 pounds when I was born. I've been fighting this since the uterus. Hello, Internet. I'm doing something different. We're going to have a little story time. This is absolutely 100% true story, thoughts, and feelings by your girl, Elisabeth. Here is my disclaimer. I was in a car accident over the weekend, and I have a mild concussion. Plus, it is 11 o'clock at night, so my filter is almost completely gone. Let's get on to a story. So I talked to my mom today, and my mom is an adorable little 72-year-old woman who is super blunt. Wonder where I get it from. So she told me this story that happened when I was in high school. I don't know why she told me this story. So my sister was working at the pharmacy at Hy-Vee, and a customer came in and was complaining. She didn't really tell the story if the customer was complaining to my sister, or if she was in line on the phone complaining, or if she was with a friend. I'm kind of confused who the lady was complaining to, but she was complaining about how her daughter didn't make the cheerleading team and some fat girl did. I think we can all guess who the fat girl was, now that we have a little foreshadowing in the mix. But anyway, my sister asked who it was or who she was talking about, because she kind of got an inkling, because I was a little bit overweight. I was not super obese, but I was a little overweight, and I was a cheerleader. So my sister asked, who is the girl? And she said my name, and that's when my sister was like, I'm gonna have to stop you right there. That's my sister. If you say another word, it's going down for real. I'm gonna tell you right now. Shit's gonna get real. That's the gist of the story. When I was in high school, I was a cheerleader, and a mom was upset that her daughter didn't make the team and felt that it was so awful that a fat girl made the team instead over her daughter. I did ask, who was it? My mom said she didn't remember. I don't know how they got talking about this. And once again, I do not know why my mom felt the need to tell me about this. So she told me this earlier in the day, and honestly, I don't know how to process this information until now, and so I'm going to make this video about it because it's absolutely effing ridiculous. Now, let's rewind back. So in high school, I was like somewhat overweight. So the thing that made it hard for me to kind of digest and how to even take this information, since I'm 29 years old and probably about 26 of my 29 years of life on this earth, I have felt very uncomfortable in my body. I slowly got better at loving myself and finding that I was a beautiful human being. A lot of help from that came from my husband, who told me how sexy and hot I was, and eventually I started believing him. So that's number one. That's how I don't know how to digest the story. Number two, I've asked myself in my life, like looking back, how come I don't think I'm beautiful? Like, I have tons of friends who are skinny, who are bigger, who are in between, and I think they look great. How come I can't feel that way about myself? And I've thought of a ton of reasons. I'll probably find a ton more, eventually go to therapy and figure out the real reason. And a big thing that made me question was I had overly supportive parents. My mom, my whole life, told me how beautiful I was. I was so beautiful. And that was what I heard from her a lot of my life. But for whatever reason, even though I had that positive reinforcement in the home, for some reason in my brain, it didn't click on to that. So it comes to, why am I making this video? Because as of right now, I have great body confidence. I had a kid. I realized I am woman. I can create life. I have nothing wrong in this department, and I hope everybody watching sees that in themselves too. Anyway, why am I making this video? Number one, I secretly hope that the girl who did not make the cheerleading team is watching this video and that she is fat. No, I don't care that she's fat, but secretly inside, it is eating her alive. But not enough, because she's still fat. Number two, what the hell is wrong with this mother? What joy does it give that mother to teach her child that because somebody is fat and they're thin, that they are better than them and that they deserve something because they are thin? Let's rewind back again. I was not fat. I look back at my photos. If I can find some fast enough, I'll put them up there. I was definitely overweight, but I had an amazing muscular physique. I did a lot of sports. I just ate like crap because I was a teenager, and it showed up in the perfect ways. What am I saying? Obviously, this is still a problem of some sorts. You can blame whatever you want to blame on the political spectrum. I'm not talking politics. I'm talking about spreading love in your home. Looking at your kids and looking at their friends and seeing who they hang out with. If your kid doesn't have a fat friend, go find one. If you don't have a fat friend, go find one. You need to surround yourself with different walks of life. People who are poor, people who are rich, people who are fat, people who are thin, people who are different races. They're immigrants, they come from different countries, they come from different states. They come from different walks of life, because that is the only way that you can mature as a person. Number 3, I'm making this video is because for some reason, this mom was so upset that her skinny daughter got beat out by a fat girl. Because the only assumption I can have is that she raised her daughter that she is thin and beautiful. She can just show up and she gets things. She must obviously be better because of how she looks. You want to know why she got beat out by a fat girl? It's because I worked my ass 50 times harder than her to be better. But this is another problem. Your weaknesses do not define you. They strengthen you to be a better person, to overcome and to be better than people who should naturally be better. They're not. And people who are already naturally better, it doesn't mean that they're gonna succeed. Yeah, they might have a head start by a little bit, but if they don't recognize that they have a head start, they're not going anywhere. So if you're watching this and you feel moved, if you felt like this, if you were one of them skinny bitches that acted like this and you learned the error of your ways, I'm friends with you on Facebook. I forgave you. Mama Concussion Head is calling everybody out. If you're watching this and this moved you, share it. I'm tired of people putting other people into classes because they look a certain way. They must act this way. This is 2018. I hear it preached all the time. Just because you were born poor, you were born rich, you were born fat, you were born thin. I was born fat. I was 10 and a half pounds when I was born. I've been fighting this since the uterus. I'm only 29 and I have seen a lot more in my life, and I've experienced different things, and I've talked to different people in walks of life, and I've experienced these for my own, and it's made me a better person. It's made me more compassionate. Some days you gotta catch me on a good day. But I feel it's made me a more well-rounded person because of these so-called struggles. That's the only way you grow, is you struggle. So, stop watching this video and go get your struggle on so you can grow, girl. Cause you go, girl. Thanks for watching.